Golly, Parlay Pete, you know what really breaks my heart starting off this show?
What?
That the Bluetooth is not working properly, so I can't even just have some football theme music coming in that we'd be stealing from a multi-billion-dollar company, but we're too small to get sued for it.
Right. Maybe a little. You know
Are
the.
you ready for some football?
Well, I wasn't even gonna say. Well, yeah, obviously that's perfect because that's exactly where we're at with this. We really are ready for some football.
Yeah.
But I was thinking like more of one of those. You remember the NFL films, the I was thinking more like something like that. But I mean, look, Hank Jr. Monday Night Football, that works too. Hank Williams Jr. Yeah.
Golly, man. Monday Night Football.
I
We got Bill Belichick on the Manning cast every week on Monday Night Football. Why is ESPN competing with themselves?
I don't know. And this is the wild part about it. You would think so. You want to know what would be perfect? And I know that the traditional game, there's like 4 Monday night doubleheaders, maybe like 5 this year. The idea would realistically be that you have them really just be the telecast for whenever they have that second game. And you could have the traditional cast where you get, I don't know, Steve Levy or whoever they get, Lewis Riddick, whoever calls it.
No,
like they can still call it because some people might not want to hear a non-traditional cast, but like
put that on ESPN.
I don't know. It's weird. It really is weird that it's like, man, this is how we want to use all this football great because Troy and Joe are so great. It's like I don't want to listen to the Manning cast.
No,
because I want to hear a good game called, and this is the only time that I get to hear a good game called for the most part throughout the week, except for on Sunday night. I like Sunday night. I know you're not a big college football guy, but I think that Tirico hides the deficiencies there, anyways.
I think he does. If your introduction to Sunday Night Football was when Tirico got there,
right?
But Chris Collinsworth has been in my life my entire football life. And let me tell you, Parlay Pete, look at this guy. Patrick Mahomes, man. He's a guy, he can throw a ball a country mile and smoke a cigarette just like me, man. I've hung out with Daddy Mahomes, and let me tell you, we hit the dive bars together every time we come to KC. He takes me to his spot over there in Orchard Park, man, and we both go through a pack of cowboy killers before the night's over. Man. Let me tell you what, Tirico, man, Mike.
Let me tell you something. Pat Sr., he still can throw that fastball too. And I tell you what, you try him. You try him. You see.
Hey, did I send you? I think I did a couple weeks ago that clip of Troy Aikman just like taking a shit on one of his backup quarterbacks. His son was
it's the Cooper. Yeah, it's the Cooper Cup clip. It is because that's where the cup of coffee thing. He said he had a cup of coffee, maybe. Said it wasn't very long. He's like, I forgot his dad's name, but he's like, I'm mad if you're out there. He's like, I miss you, buddy. It's just like, no, the fuck you don't. But you had to have one of these producers tell you, that you played with his dad, and then he was like, who? like, and then he's like, oh man, Cup didn't even realize their last names were the same.
We were in different quarterback rooms.
Right, exactly. He was with the fucking scout team, going against the defense, and I was talking with whoever the fuck the coach was at the time, Jimmy, and yeah,
Norv Turner. There we go.
Yeah, right. You're with the OC and shit. I mean,
think about it though, because it was somebody with the Colts. I don't remember if it was a coach or GM who talked about like prepping the backup and getting ready if Peyton Manning's not there. And his answer was, if Peyton's not here, we're fucked. We don't prep our backup because if Peyton's not here, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't. Well, because they had guys like Jim Sorgi, Curtis Painter. And don't ask me how I know all his backups, but it's because when you play Madden, you look at the teams and it's like you just see Jim Sorgi. It's like Peyton Manning's a 98 overall, and it's like Madden 2003. It's like a 98 overall. And then Jim Sorgi's like a fucking 67. It's just like, well, yeah, that's why they're fucked if Peyton goes out. And then Curtis Painter, obviously, he was the quarterback the year Peyton's neck.
And like, what was it? Speaking of backup quarterbacks, and we shouldn't lead the show with this, but we're here. JT O'Sullivan got demolished on Twitter.
But he had it coming. being a smart ass, especially with smart asses on Twitter.
Yeah.
Because they're not in front of you. All they do is have time to research and think about stuff. And it's just like I forgot exactly what he said, but didn't he say something along the lines of like basically like
here I got it right here. It is a picture of Caleb Williams. It's probably on what's it called? Oh, on Hard Knocks. I don't watch Hard Knocks, but it's like I love the idea of head coach and starting quarterback one-on-one meetings. Love it even more for never mind.
People like Shannon.
But and the body language vibes. Who's taking notes seems a little off to me. And then the response is, what should Caleb be taking notes of? I don't know. I wasn't at the meeting. I was at many NFL meetings, though, and I almost always took notes. And the response was, there's been plenty of clips of Caleb taking notes when Waldron and Kirby Joseph are talking to him. Imagine this was a short sit-down meeting and was kind of informal. And then this guy goes, then JT goes, you had a lot of one-on-one meetings with NFL head coaches? No, just speculating. No need to be condescending. If you took notes during meetings, I'd hope Caleb does the opposite, to be honest, seeing how your career went. Twitter is fun. Thanks for following. I enjoy your breakdowns of quarterback play, but don't shit on me for speculating when most of your one-on-one meetings with head coaches were to inform you.
You get cut. yeah. And so, I mean, he set himself up for it.
Well, that's the thing, man. Like, I have the utmost respect for players who played at the highest level, even if they aren't good. You know, guys like Dez, right? But if Dez, as he transitions into his new career, you know, maybe quality control, offensive, pass game coordinator, like you said in our group,
up there in Madison, huh?
Yeah, maybe assistant quarterback coach, or maybe the Big Four letters calls him in, or TNT calls him and puts him on some bullshit games, right?
Yeah, I could see him calling some Mountain West games at 10 p.m. on a Saturday. Because there's definitely nothing better to do at 10 p.m. on a Saturday than listen to Desmond Ridder talk about bad football.
But here's what I don't want. I don't ever want Desmond Ridder to have a condescending tone when he's giving his draft stuff, right? When he's talking about talk about him in college. You were a great college player. Do what you need to do. Right. Cool. But when you start talking about them as pros, because they bring in the college guys for the draft stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear no douchiness, dog. You weren't good enough.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, Dez is the type of guy. I think he's from Kentucky, that northern Kentucky area that is close to Cincinnati. I could really see Dez transitioning back into high school. I think we told you this. You know that he like partnered up. It's multiple people, but like he like partnered up and was an investor in this gym that like my cousin has invested in, and he was there. Like Justice met him. My dad, I don't know if they talked to him, but he was there, and so they saw him.
So that's why Justice sang his praises last year, because he was in his presence.
No, that was this summer. That was this summer when that happened. Yeah, it was this summer. But like,
before.
It was before. Or no. Maybe it wasn't this. It was before he was gone.
Okay.
Before the trade, it was before he was still a Falcon.
Okay.
Or maybe it was right after. I don't. It was this year though. It was this year. It wasn't last year. It was this year.
Maybe he comes back and coaches at Doug or something.
I don't give a fuck what Desmond Ridder does. As long as he doesn't put on a fucking Falcons uniform again, I'm good. And I'm pretty sure that Arthur Blank, under no uncertain terms, he's getting the Michael Vick treatment when it comes to not putting on a Falcons jersey again.
You know what? This move, Desmond Ridder got cut by the Cardinals. We traded him. We got a pick for a guy that they cut. Cool, whatever. This is the most damning thing on Arthur Smith as a head coach, and may have bought Terry, Super Bowl winning GM Terry Fontenot, 2 more years. Because Terry can go in Arthur's office / Rich's office. They share the office. And be like, see, this guy got cut. How did you expect me to pick up wins when we had a coach who believed in this guy, didn't make him play preseason?
Yeah, made him play one drive in preseason after he started 4 games the year before and got what was a lost cause of the season. And then the teams that we played all were playing backup quarterbacks too, by the way. And I get it. He's on offense, so he's not competing against.
Brady played a drive.
Well, right, because they count that as a win. And I guess that's something that Dez will be able to hang on to for his career. He's like, I started in a game against Tom Brady and won.
Hey, you know what? That's just like me talking about getting 2 picks off Jay Crowder. It sounds good.
No, at least with yours, there's some validity to it because you actually played the whole game, and he played the whole game.
But Jay Crowder,
Tom Brady didn't play the whole game.
But Jay Crowder went to the NBA, not the NFL.
So who cares? He's still a professional athlete. That goes to show how good he was either way.
Or how he had one option.
Look, I'm giving you. I give you more credit than I'm giving Dez for that win against Tom. I don't give a fuck. All right.
I mean, as you should.
Yeah, and that brings me to my point on Dez. I want to hear from all these people that were saying Desmond Ridder this, Desmond Ridder that last season, and when we drafted him. It's not like it was just last year. It was when we drafted him too. Everybody was like, "Oh yeah, this guy's next," and then he comes out and he says, "Oh, we're going to win the Super Bowl. We're going to do all this, that, and the third."
About damn time.
Now, the only time that Desmond Ridder was ever touching a Super Bowl was in Madden. All right, like he was never going to get us to the promised land, and we all know that. It took Matt Ryan. I'm not even going to say forever. What? Matt was with us 8 years before we went to the Super Bowl with him, and he was the 3rd overall pick, and he's the best player in franchise history. By statistics, he's the greatest Falcon ever. In my opinion.
That's a fact. He's the greatest Falcon ever.
Yeah, and look at him. He transitions very nicely to TV. Maybe Dez can do the same. Michael Vick's transition nicely. Looks like Falcons quarterbacks get jobs. Jay Feely, I know kicker, but Jay Feely been an analyst for the kicking game for CBS for like fucking 10 years now. He's been doing it for a long time.
I don't think it. I mean, Dion was on TV too. Don't forget about Dion.
Yeah, NFL Network. Him, the playmaker, Rich Eisen, and was it Sapp? I think Sapp was the 4th guy.
Yeah, but then they did a show. They did a Sunday night recap show. It was a great California show, right?
Yeah.
Because it came on after Sunday Night Football, and only in California are you awake to consume that stuff. It was Dion, Shannon, and LaDainian Tomlinson, and a hot blonde who definitely married a white man, but took some black cock in college.
Didn't they all?
I don't know. And I'm not saying she did. I'm just saying like the vibe she gave on the show goes, yeah, she's fucked a black guy. But
do you think Molly has fucked? Well, we know she's fucked Jalen Rose, but prior to that, I mean, considering I don't know, when you're talking about this, I'm thinking about the Terrell Davis thing. He's like, Molly, you want to hike it?
I don't think Molly, you talking about Molly Querim, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't think she's a good example because she's brown, but like she's not like heavy religiously brown and all of that stuff. I think we really got to look at like the Erin Andrews, the what's her name with the beautiful voice? Rachel Nichols, the Michelle Beatles. Those are the ones we would talk about here in this section. And this is probably why we can't monetize this show, because we're like saying who fucked a black cock in college.
Well, at the end of the day, we can clean up our act. We can clean up our act, but the stench will still smell on these people. Prior to that, we can clean up our act and get away with this.
You saying a white woman sleeping with a black guy leaves a stench on her?
I tell you what, anyone that has watched any type of documentary involving porn, that is apparently the way that it is. Once you've gone black, you can't go back in that industry. So
you buy into these stereotypes that are given to us by our colonizers, huh? So you think it's wrong for a white woman to lay down?
No. Oh no! Hold on, time out. Let's not take what I said out of context. I'm telling you what's been said in documentaries. I didn't write the documentary. I'm just presenting it to us here. I am not somebody that, of course, I am somebody that has, had my fun with white women. I still will today. That doesn't change anything. There's nothing wrong with that. You love who you love. At the end of the day, I have no issues, no qualms one way or another. I'm just saying what it was said in that documentary, and that's one of those things. And even I think Lana Rhoades, like, there's been plenty of porn stars that have come out and like said that, like, you get blackballed from the industry.
Well, that's the thing, right? As somebody who used to consume some of that content, right? you gotta you really get mad when like one of your favorites who's not black, you gotta like keep waiting and waiting and waiting. It's like, come on, man. Like, when are you gonna
Right.
knock the dust off and get established so you can finally cross over?
Well, right. When can you set up? Because think about it, that would be the reason that some people watch porn. There's this thought of, okay, it's almost like imagining myself doing it.
Do
I
you watch
can't.
porn with white guys?
I have in the past. I mean, I don't really watch porn. Period. Now, but like, my preference has always been something that I can visualize more as myself.
Got you. You know, like Alexis Texas finally went around with a black guy, but she put it on her OnlyFans. Probably like in the last 2 or 3 years.
Had she never done?
No.
Really?
Yeah. No.
So look, so there's an example though of what I was just talking about. I mean,
and based on the conversation, like, so she was on Joe Budden's show one time, and like they were talking about it, and she all but said it was probably like 2014, 2015, and she wasn't fucking black cock on camera then.
Yeah.
That he could have piped her, like her and her friend.
And here's the other thing, right? This is just on camera. And I don't know how it works for porn stars, how they have sex, like enjoying it, because it's like it's work for you. So it's kind of like, how often do you have sex not?
Well, here it goes.
Not getting paid to do it, I guess, is what I'm saying.
When you fuck a one nighter or just a piece that you just are just trying to like fuck, right? Do you have a different mindset than when you fuck a girl you care about?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I know I do. Like back when I was single, the things like the way that I would move out there versus the way that I move now as a married man is totally different. Like,
yeah,
like sex is intimate for me. It's like us exchanging energies and feelings and love for each other. When I was single, wet spot and friction, baby.
Well, put it this way though, it's just like, I hate to say it, it's almost like eating food. When you have one of your favorite meals that you've had over and over again, you continue to enjoy that meal, and it continues to taste fucking great every time. You're just like, man, I can't wait to have some leftovers of this, whatever it is. Like, for instance, I'd say for me, like my mom, whenever she made Thanksgiving dinner, right? Like, loved it, loved everything about it. Wanted to continue, wanted my leftovers. Couldn't wait until throughout the year when she would not maybe necessarily cook a Thanksgiving meal more than once every year, but pieces of that Thanksgiving meal get cooked, and you always enjoy it.
Well, you randomly macaroni and cheese on a Tuesday. It's like, whoa. Now,
if I hear the hype about something, new restaurant, new item, it could be a fast food item, something new, like, yeah, my approach is going to be different because you don't know what you're getting out of it, but the eagerness to want it and have it could be the same, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's kind of the way I look at it too. I don't know how we just straight off.
I don't either. Like, let's get back to ball.
Hey, talking about backup quarterbacks, porn stars, and fucking food.
And fucking.
Yeah.
Desmond Ridder is where he needs to be, and that's not on the NFL roster. And Arthur Smith, you did yourself a disservice by falling in love with this guy. I understand you went after Deshaun Watson, it didn't work, but pinning your head coaching career on Desmond Ridder is the reason why you may never be a head coach again. Hopefully, like one of the scouts, one of the lead scouts or player personnel guys in Atlanta loved you and realized that you just had a bad eye for quarterback.
You want to know what it is?
Hire you later.
Art got a bad shake in a weird way. Because Art came here with the expectation of, he knew he was getting the corpse of Matt Ryan, but like at the same time, he probably thought a succession plan was going to come. But he knew, because most people don't want to take a job without an established quarterback unless you're coming in with that rookie quarterback that is a top 5 pick. And it's your guy. It's a guy that you really like and that you want to work with, right? Like, but he came in knowing that he wasn't going to get to see Matt Ryan for the life of his contract. I think he knew that, right? Yeah. I don't know. Obviously, Justin Fields, I don't think Justin Fields was one of his people because, of course, he took Kyle Pitts over him. But now he ironically has Justin Fields where he is. And so Marcus obviously was somebody that he was familiar with, understood it, made a ton of sense. I'm surprised Pittsburgh didn't make a move to go get Tannehill more so because he had success with Tannehill. And who knows? Maybe that will still end up happening. I don't know. But, like,
I call that nigga week 4.
I think it's going to be, and we'll get to that picks-wise next week, but certainly we'll get to talk about how I think it's going to pan out for them this season too.
Well, look. If anybody knows anything, they know we're picking the Falcons to cover. It's going to be in Parlay Pete's 6-pack. I'm going to put it in at least 3. And I hope to lick the tears off of Julian Turner's face after the game when we probably convene at 10 after the. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it'll definitely be something. We need to figure out what our tailgate plan is going to be.
We need to actually get on the phone and discuss
that too. Yeah, that too. Yeah,
we got a lot of shit to discuss, but
it's fucking here, baby. Football season is here.
Football is here, man. We got no more bullshit headlines. We don't have to talk about media on media beef. We don't have to talk about Drake versus Kendrick, even though that beef is resurfacing. But I don't want to hear about it on a sports show. I don't got to hear about LeBron versus Bronny. I don't have to hear about why Angel Reese should be rookie of the year, even though hey, bro, that shit I sent you today that Jonan was talking about was foul, wasn't it? When he said
he's right though.
Bro, nobody ever compared Dennis Rodman's rebounds to Michael Jordan's scoring, dog.
And it doesn't take away from the greatness of Dennis Rodman because of that either.
Yeah, but like niggas didn't grow up wanting to be Dennis Rodman.
Well, there'll be some nigga that some old head will say, I'm Dennis Rodman was the raw. He's like, I was always the nigga that did all the dirty work. That's what I like. I like a dog. Like,
oh, look here.
Jordan gets all the credit, but without this dude, they not having that second 3 feet. Like,
I'm an old head basketball player now, right? At 32, you're an old head when you play pickup.
Well, anyone that refers to Carmelo Anthony as Melo, that's where the cutoff starts.
Yeah.
If I say Melo and the first person you think of is LaMelo, then you're in a different era of basketball.
Look, when I play pickup now, I embrace the Draymond role. Undersized, playing down low. I ain't really got to shoot, passing the ball, talking on defense. Not getting blocks and steals, but affecting shots and cutting off passes before they happen, passing out the post. When I was 22 playing pickup, I wasn't embracing no Draymond role.
Right.
I'm trying to hit sidestep threes and talking shit. Nah, I'm getting in Draymond these niggas.
Yeah, and look, and that's what we like to see. That's what we like to see. It just depends. If it's a pickup like at the gym, for the most part, niggas are always taller. I'm like taller than a lot of the niggas that be out there playing. And so for the most part, I'm always stuck. Like, I remember the last time I played, I had to guard. It was a dude. He was an older guy, but he was muscular. So he was probably in his late 30s. And he wasn't I knew that I was never going to have to worry about him shooting the ball. Because I was like, oh, no, this nigga looks like he can barely get the right form to shoot it. You know what I mean? He had those, what's my man's name that's in Charlotte that thought he was going to get the video in Boston?
Michael Kidd-Gilchrist?
No. This year, he was in Dallas too.
Oh, golly, Grant Williams.
Yeah, that's how these dudes were built. But like
the nigga who snuck into the Michael Rubin party.
Correct, and then like these Desmond Bain looking dudes, but except imagine them being like 5'9". You know what I mean? But they're swole, like so they're gonna box me out because they're just much bigger than me. But at the same time, I've got this jumping ability and my length pauses, greater than theirs. So.
Yo, that's crazy.
It is, though.
I mean, you never show up to my gym to hoop.
Well, I haven't been in a minute, but anyways, we could set that up though.
Hey guys,
but you're not here on the weekend.
True. I mean, but it's Monday, Wednesday hoop, 6 o'clock.
Yeah. I wouldn't be able to make it by 6.
I just want to throw it out there to the listeners. So I joined Pete of the Parliament's gym, right? Because, moved back to the area. I'm like, let me find a gym. He said good things about this gym. Haven't seen him there yet. But let me tell you, the food is so clutch. So I went to the gym during lunch today because I didn't go this morning. And to be able to go in there and get me a poke bowl It's like, oh yeah, bro, this is love.
They just changed that menu back in May too.
Or like in the mornings when I get
they don't have the wrap anymore, man.
When I go in the mornings for the late lift and to be able to go get the Midtown breakfast or whatever, like 2 eggs, some chicken sausage, and some hash browns, and what's English muffin?
Yeah,
and it's actually priced at regular breakfast spot prices, so they're not even like overcharging you for the convenience.
What's it like? $11?
Less than 14.
Yeah.
So I mean, where are you getting a $14 breakfast at besides Waffle House?
You're not. That's typically what one item is.
Especially in this Biden economy.
And we're not even going to deep dive into that, even though I know in a couple of weeks we'll have a debate to talk about, but we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. So, hey, guys, this whole first segment was to let you all know that we are ecstatic that Desmond Ridder is no longer throwing passes in the NFL.
And it's something. Let's keep it real. It was something that never should have happened to begin with. I mean,
he should have thrown passes his rookie year, but after that, no.
Yeah, look, Malik Willis, a guy drafted after him, he was even sought after for a backup position. So much so that the Green Bay Packers traded for him. I mean, so think about that. Yeah, but that just goes to show you where Desmond's at in the chopping block. Clayton Tune wins the backup job over you in Arizona. And I get it. He had a year in the system or whatever. Clayton fucking Tune has there's no reason why he should be beating Desmond Ridder out for a job. But that just goes to show where we're at, where he was at. Hey,
man, like real quick, my cousin just sent me the highest paid coaches in high school football in Georgia. Carrollton's coach, Joey King, who used to coach at Cartersville, he coached Trevor Lawrence. Man's making $225 a year.
That's crazy. Is he a gym teacher too?
Who cares?
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, what?
I mean, he may be a gym teacher, but like
justifying that salary. I guess the money that they're bringing in when they win.
The money that
they're bringing in. ESPN having them on TV every year.
Yeah, and like if you go look at their facility, it's fucking crazy.
Well, Carrollton, yeah, they've got their own little town. It looks like a nice place to move.
My boss works there or lives there. He commutes to Vinings every day from Carrollton. I'm like, yeah, nigga, you better than me. Yeah. Cartersville High School's coach, he's making $122.
Where do they have this listed at? Send me the link.
It's a tweet. I'll send it to you. Well, I'll send you a picture. Yeah, like, bro, it's crazy how much some of these guys are getting paid. But it's like it's bigger in Texas.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's a team that plays at the Cowboys facility out there in Plano.
Is that the school that Jared's grandson went to?
Probably. But think about it, their practice facility seats like, I want to say 10,000 or something like that. You know, plush seats, everything. Like, it's built like a real fucking stadium, just a smaller version. Yeah.
I mean, Jared said, can't nobody run his fucking team better than him.
Yeah, not a bad seat in the house.
Hey, but speaking of which, you want to get to some NFL futures?
Let's get to some NFL futures.
All right, man. So for NFL futures, yeah, we're going to put them out here for you all. Absolutely. We're going to start with the NFC East. You know, Jared was the perfect run into it. So let me see. Let me pull up my win totals. First team we actually have is Jared's boys, the Dallas Cowboys. BetMGM has them at, let's see.
Wait, are we going? We're not going in order? Or we're going to go by division.
We're going by division, yeah.
Okay.
Because that makes the division talks easier because we're already here.
Okay.
Hey, guys, we didn't do much pre-prep because somebody forgot their power cord. But anyways, so BetMGM has them at 10.5 games. Do you want to use all BetMGM?
Yes.
All right, BetMGM has them at 10.5 just for context. DraftKings, FanDuel, and BetRivers. You know what? We're not going to refer to BetRivers because I don't know them niggas. But DraftKings and FanDuel have them at 9.5. But, yeah, they're at 10.5. They're at 10.5 games. The under is, plus 120, and the over is plus 145. That's spicy.
Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to pull it up on my screen. Because, see, the one I sent you.
Oh, did you send one to me?
Yeah.
I mean, I've been so fucking busy today that, like, I've been a bad texter.
Well, the one that I sent you,
shit.
so Yeah, it has them all listed. I just said we were going to use MGMs, but on here it has them at 9.5. So that's why I'm like, okay.
All right, so are you comfortable using 9.5 as a number for Dallas?
Yeah, let's use that.
Okay, because I'm filling our numbers in, so when we come back to this, we can actually talk about it. Yeah. So we got Dallas at 9.5. Sorry, BetMGM on this website. Fuck you. They got bet now, I guess.
So I like the over. I like the over. I just think that this is the all-in season. It would be kind of bad considering they've won 12 games 3 years in a row. I do expect them to not win 12 games, but the idea that they wouldn't win 10 would mean that they're probably not a playoff team. And we'll get to that later, but I think that they're a playoff team. So, I like the over. Even though I do think that this will be one of those things where 10 wins might win that division this year.
So I'm going to reluctantly take the over as well. But my over is 10, maybe 11. And I only say that because they just signed Dalvin Cook. And I don't think Dalvin Cook is cooked. I know he's not what he was his last season in Minnesota.
Yeah.
But I think the combo of Dalvin Cook and Zeke, Zeke is cooked. Like
Zeke still had
Zeke is, you know what? Zeke is, you know how when you order a medium steak and that shit is like, and I rarely order a medium steak, by the way, but it's a medium steak, but they kind of overcook it, but it's still not medium well.
Yeah.
So like you can still eat it, but like it's not what you want.
Correct. Which is why you have to order it medium rare.
Exactly.
Then it's going to give it you the way you want it.
Yeah. Like, hey, dog, if you go to Longhorn and order a steak, which I don't recommend ever going to Longhorn unless you're just going there for drinks and like the steak sandwich.
Yeah. Maybe like, I know it's Outback has the Bloomin' Onion, but they have something similar, something like that. Like basically apps and drinks.
If you're going to a chain steakhouse where you can get a steak at lunch for like less than $25, I don't recommend it. But if you do, always go medium rare because that shit might end up medium.
Well, if you get it medium, it's going to 100% be medium well.
And if you get it medium well, that shit's going to be burnt.
Yeah. Yeah. So, funny enough, you talked about
again.
You said who?
Are we being snobs again?
I don't think so. I just think that we have taste, and there's nothing wrong with having taste in this society. I have taste. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? But funny enough, when you said Zeke and Dalvin Cook, there was a tweet I saw earlier. It said Zeke and Dalvin Cook backfield in 2024, and it's that I guess it's considered a meme. The video of Jerry Rice in his uniform, and then Emmitt Smith. He's like, looking good, Emmitt, and like he's like shaking his head. And then basically, it's like Dan Marino and Randy Moss. All of them are in like actual pads and shit.
Yeah. I know the commercial you're talking about.
But it's the behind the. It's not even the commercial. It's the behind the scenes of it, and him like Jerry Rice greeting everybody coming out in their pad, telling them they look good, knowing that they're all washed up, basically.
Zeke and Dalvin Cook is you piping your high school crush at 30.
Right, and for the most part, it's not going to be as fulfilling as it would have been 13 years prior.
No, like the name sounds good, especially if you're like in the high school circles.
Right, you talk to somebody and they're like, "You guys heard about Jenny?" And it's just like, "Man, I actually just piped Jenny."
Oh, you?
They're like, "Really?" They were like, "How was that?"
Because even though Jenny fell off, right, nigga still didn't pipe. Like she ended up with some out of town ass nigga.
Yeah.
Or some old ass nigga who's corny as hell, and she's not who she once was, but the name still rings bells because of who she was. So there's a certain level of respect there. There's
brand recognition still.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like when niggas will put on a classic pair of Pumas. It's like, these ain't the flyest shits, but it's Puma. Like it's still fly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh. Golly, we got to stop reverting back to snatch on the show. Can you say snatch publicly?
I think you just did. So I don't see anyone around here that's saying that something's wrong with that.
Random side note, got some good positive reaction on the fantasy live show. So shout out to y'all for holding it down on the draft show. I was barely there, But I'm back in Cartersville during the week, so moving around, people's like, "Hey, man, I checked out y'all's draft show, man. Y'all was on there wild," and I'm like, "Bro, I wasn't even there. I don't know what happened. I ain't go back and watch." But I did.
Yeah.
I got a text about something y'all talked about on there, so I do got to ask you off camera. How did that come up?
Okay, we'll talk about it.
You know what it is.
I actually don't. You can type it in the private chat here. But anywho, let's move on, man, to the Philadelphia Eagles. On my end, it's showing 10.5.
Let me see. Yeah, I got 10.5 across the board.
This one's a tough one. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I'm going under. I'm going under.
Something tells me that it should be over, but I see 10. Yeah, I don't really see them because I guess the issue is that they don't really have the running game. I mean, not the running game. I'm sorry. They don't have. No, what it is, I mean, I think that those key cogs on the O-line, it's going to be a big issue for them. I really do. I do think that losing somebody like a Jason Kelce is going to be a big deal. Some people would argue that Jason Kelce might be the greatest center of all time. And so when you lose somebody like that, to expect them to just continue on, and then with the way that they even ended the season last year, it just doesn't feel right to take the over here. So I'm going to side with you. I'm going to take under 10.5 here.
And so here's my thing about Philly, right? I think they're super talented, but the offseason noise, I think that matters. If the head coach, who's the offensive coach, and the quarterback barely talk to each other, they don't have any rapport. Reportedly, Jalen, what's his last name?
Hurts.
Sorry, I just had a brain fart. Jalen Hurts doesn't respect Nick Sirianni.
And then there's that, right? And then there's all the rumbling there. They have to get adjusted. At the end of the day, it's still a new offensive system and a new defensive coordinator. Like there's so much change going on there. And although I like the Jahan Dotson pickup as your wide receiver 3, that's a nice pickup. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like that's a team I feel good about getting over that number. I think that they're going to be one of those teams that doesn't get blown out ever.
No.
Like every game will be competitive, but the question will be how many of these close games they're going to win. I look at just kind of how they melted down, like at the end of the season, they were losing games to like the Arizona Cardinals. Like these were games that they lost. They lost to the Giants at the end of the year in a game that if they had won, they would have won the division, and then Dallas ended up winning the fucking division. You can't be dropping games like that, and that's exactly kind of how it went for them. And it just – I don't know. I'm not a big fan of what Philly has going on. I'm sure Sean would beg to differ, right? But
here's my thing. If they won 12 or 13 games, I also wouldn't be shocked by it. I wouldn't be shocked because they still have the players, especially if that secondary is figured out, which I'm still not convinced. But Kellen Moore, that's who scares me.
Right.
Because for one, Howie hired Kellen Moore, not the head coach. And Kellen Moore doesn't really like to run the ball.
Yeah, tell me about it. I had Austin Eckler last year as my number 1 pick. And now he's getting picked, average draft position is like fucking 98. He's sitting on Josh Holsey's bench. You know what I mean? That's how he's falling. He went from being my first pick, and I'm thinking I get a steal at 3 because you took Travis Kelce. I'm like, oh, right. And boy, talk about a fall off that has to be studied.
Yeah, man. So is Howie gonna influence Kellen to run the ball more and utilize Saquon? We'll see. Jalen.
Well, does the tush push work better without Kelce there? Yeah. These are look, man. They got a lot of look. Hold on. They got a lot of fucking fourth down conversions because of that bullshit. This is year 3 now of getting ran, and you don't have your center, your Hall of Fame center. You're in a new system. I feel like people are going to figure it out. And look, that's a game changer. It's been a game changer for them to be able to get that. It extends drive. I remember there was a game where Philly went for it on like their own 30. And they did it because it's almost like this automatic, we'll get at least a yard, maybe even 2-3 sometimes. if it gets figured out, bro, that changes the game for how that short yardage game for them.
I still think it works because if you have a center who can just make a decent lead block, Jalen Hurts still squats 500 pounds. And that's not normal from the quarterback position.
I don't like it enough to get over that 10.5.
I mean, I don't like it to get over that 10.5 either, but I wouldn't be shocked. But keeping it in that division, God damn it, my bad handwriting. Keep it in that division. Let's go to the New York Football Giants.
I see 6.5. Give me the under all day. Hammer it. Hammer it. Hammer the under. Hammer it.
We're gonna ride with 6.5 under. Yeah.
Well, we don't have. I tell you, I got 2 words for you on why we're taking the under.
Daniel Jones.
Enough said. We don't even have to talk about them.
I mean, look, I auto drafted Malik Neighbors on accident, and I'm like, hey, he's on the block, and I think he's good. He's on the block.
Maybe we can work something out, but I don't really need any wide receivers. That's the thing. This year. That's where I went heavy. I typically try to be running back heavy, but
hey, you thought drafting running backs this year?
Look, I wasn't sure how this draft was going to play out, and it's so crazy. My draft ended up nothing like any of my practice drafts, like none of them. But I also hated the position I was at. I did not like being 7th.
I didn't like being first.
But you see, at least for you, you get that back-to-back pick in that second and third round, and it's the same thing with being last almost. You're going to be able to get some really quality players. You just have to make some strong decisions. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I wanted to take Tyreek first. But then I go, bro, there's receivers out there. By the time I pick, the running back pickings are going to be slim.
Yeah, well, you're going to be dealing with either these second-tier guys that maybe do get 75% of the touches at the position, but you're not sold on them, like a Devin Singletary. Like, he's the running back for the Giants, and you don't know who the backup is for the Giants. But at the same time, you're like, man, they're going to be trailing a lot. They're not even going to really be running the ball. I mean, they're going to be having – and then Daniel Jones can run. So it's kind of like that might take away from it. Like,
you saw my running back situation last year. I got carried by Raheem Mostert's 20 touchdowns.
Yeah, but you hit on him. You hit.
I hit on him, but I didn't have running back consistency.
Yeah.
So, anyways, getting it off of fantasy. So, Giants 6.5 under. Yeah, stamp it. And finally, I think the most confusing team of this division is the Commanders. I got them at 6.5 as well.
Yeah, that's what it's showing on my end. I like the over. I actually think that they get to 7 wins, or maybe even 8.
In a vacuum, like they're over, but I want to look at their schedule real quick. So you got them on the over.
I like DQ to come out and establish the brand of football that he wants to establish there. I think Jaden Daniels I think he's going to be good. I really do. I like the addition of Eckler to be a change of pace from a Brian Robinson. They're going to run the ball a lot because they don't really have any receivers, to be completely honest with you. I have Terry McLaurin on my fantasy team, which I'm thankful for. He's really their only guy. I mean, they have Ertz, I guess.
They could start 2-0. They got Tampa and New York week 1 and week 2.
The Tampa game is going to be tough. I mean, how good Jaden Daniels is, and if Baker Mayfield, if that was just flash in the pan from him last year, will dictate that type of game.
Then it goes Cincinnati. I think Arizona's going to be feisty. Cleveland.
Yeah, but to me, Arizona and Washington, like the Commanders, they are both the same type of feistiness. They're going to be a team that you think that you're just going to walk in and maybe beat, and like they could just have a day. And like I said, DQ, and remember, Cliff is the OC. So I don't know. I just kind of expect them to get creative. And I just think that Dan's going to instill his brotherhood there. I really do. Think about it. We went 8-8 Dan's first year here, and we started 5-0.
I'm gonna actually hit the under on this. I'm not comfortable hitting the under on this, but I think they're 6 and 11. 6 and 11, 7 and 10.
I like 7 and 10, 8 and 9.
Oh shit! Oh, that's preseason. I'm gonna say, oh, I missed the Patriots. Never mind. But yeah, no. Looking at the schedule, we'll see. But I don't have strong convictions on them. So let's go to the NFC North. Let's start off with America's team, the Green Bay Packers. I got them at 9.5 on one in two books. I got them at 10.5 on two books. What number you want to go with? 9.5 or 10.5?
I see 9.5. That's the one I want to go with. I like the over.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna say let's pound the over.
I was very big on them. I was big on Jordan Love last year, although he had not done anything and it wasn't proven yet. I like what we saw certainly in the second half of the year. He looked like he got it to me, and so obviously he's your quarterback, right? Yeah. So big fan of his, and I think that the idea that Green Bay, they don't have this superstar in the wide receiver room or at tight end room, but good. It honestly, it works out for them because nobody's going to know who the ball is going to because they're all about the same type of guy.
Yeah, they're professionals, and if Romeo Doubs starts to turn up, I'm pulling him off the bench, and he's getting burned this year.
I think Jayden Reed's going to be the leader of that group. Yeah, and it could be Christian Watson, but I like Jayden Reed. But Romeo Doubs is going to be key in the slot.
I believe in Romeo Doubs. This might be my third year in a row drafting this nigga.
Guys like Romeo Doubs remind me of Geronimo Allison. He was a guy for Green Bay when I was about to say Brett Favre. When Aaron Rodgers was there, it just seemed like this guy would come out and just have these games, and you're just like, man, what the fuck is this?
Why is he getting the ball?
Well, why do I look up and he's got 7 catches for 80 yards?
Oh, I'm sorry. I messed this up. So who do you have winning the NFC East?
I like Dallas. I like Dallas to win. I think it's too much going on in Philly. And although they were, pretty much in cruise control up until the end of the year for the most part in that division, I just like Dallas. And I think that the running game is a concern there, of course. But, I don't know. Jerry said that this is it, right? This is the all-in season. And I feel like Dak knows that he won't be a Cowboy next year. So I think he's going to try and put out his best tape. And certainly, I think you might have sent it earlier, something about the Raiders. I could easily see that happening. I actually think that's 100% what's going to happen. If Dallas does not pay him, that is what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm with you with Dallas. So back to the NFC North. Sorry, guys. I don't have producers in my ear talking me through. So if I forget things, I forget them. Let's get to the next team, Detroit. I got them at 10.5.
Yeah, it's minus 115 too. I'm going to go under, man. It's hard to believe. I think that they've turned around their culture, and that's evident. But this is still the Detroit Lions. And I think that people forget that it's like, yeah, maybe this isn't your grandfather's Lions, but this isn't your dad's Lions. I just think that to sustain that type of success at that high of a level, you've got to have more than what it is that they have. Jared Goff has came into his own. He's a good quarterback. I like Jared Goff.
He's good, not great.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, somebody hit the nail on the head. He's Matt Ryan light. Because to me, he's just not as good of a passer as Matt Ryan was.
No, I think Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff, they all come from the school of Matt Ryan. Really good quarterbacks. The fan base isn't the happiest with them. They want better, but there's nothing better out there for you to get.
Here's my thing with them. I really do like what they have. I mean, I love Laporta. Obviously, St. Brown's kind of turned into an all-star.
Gibbs,
Montgomery. It's nice, but 10.5 is a high number.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm actually going on the under 2, but I see him as a 10-win team. But I think that I see that division being a bit tougher because we'll get into it in a second, but I see Green Bay winning 10, 11 games, maybe even 12. I see Detroit kind of in that same range. Yeah, I got Green Bay to win that division, by the way. But
It's arguably, if it's not the best division in football, it's the second best.
Possibly. Let's get to Minnesota because no one cares about them, and I'm going to take the under without even looking at the number because Sam Darnold's throwing passes for him.
It's 6.5.
Let me pull up the schedule.
Man, that's about where I see him. I mean, I could see a 7-10 year though, because I could see him not having the wins and losses success of Baker Mayfield, but I could see him revamping his career possibly there. Because you've got a Justin Jefferson. They got Aaron Jones at running back.
Jordan,
I know Addison got hurt. I don't know if he's out. I know that he did get hurt.
Yeah.
Hawkinson is out for sure, like the first 6 weeks. They said it's going to be like 6 to 8 weeks for him, and that's going to hurt them. The defense is so, right? Like it's kind of in the middle of the pack. That's a hard number. I'm going to go with the under. I want to say that they would go 7-10, but I feel more comfortable going with the under here.
Yeah, I'm looking at their schedule, and I'm pounding the under. So let me just read off their schedule to you. Giants week 1. They may win that.
That could be a win, yeah. It should be low-key kind of. But, here's the thing.
Hold on. No. Listen to this gauntlet. San Fran, Houston, Green Bay, New York, Jets, bye, Lions, Rams. Week 9, they get the Colts, and they get the Jaguars, and they get the Titans.
Oh, yeah. Hammer it. Hammer the under.
And they got the Bears, the Cardinals, the Falcons, the Bears, the Seahawks, Green Bay, then Detroit. Give me that under, baby.
Yeah, that sounds like 4 or 5 wins when you list it all like that.
Yeah, like that's the thing about these things. You can like have an idea of what a team is like, and then when you look at the actual schedule, it's like, ooh, under. Anyways, it's so let's get to the team that's getting all the headlines. The team that is on Hard Knocks, we got the Chicago Bears sitting at 9.5 games. I'm going under because I think they're a non-win team.
It's so
Glaze Caleb, please.
Man, I think that if he shows up, if he can be CJ Stroud-esque this year, they're gonna go over. I don't think he'll be quite as good as CJ Stroud was. I'm gonna go under too, just because I think 8, 9, 9, and 8 is their lot in life. But they're going to be a much improved team and a team that's going to be challenging for a playoff spot for that 7th seed. I do think that they will be that.
Okay, now let's get to the NFC West, and it's 9:19. I know you're on a time crunch, so we got to start pushing. NFC West, we got San Fran. I'm looking at the 49ers. They're sitting at 11.5 games where I'm seeing it.
Yeah, I see 11.5 too. Big number. Big number. I think because their division is going to be better, because Seattle will be better, I think, this year than they were last year. Obviously, the Rams kind of came out of nowhere. I still think that they're the class of the NFC. So I'm going to shockingly take the over here, because that is a very big number. I'm going to take the over though, because I think that there's not a team that's more talented than them. And although we don't know because of Trent Williams and Brandon Ayuk, like how that's going to play out, I still think that those guys are going to end up playing, or they're going to get the deals done. And I'm going to take the over. I think they're the best team in the NFC. That
McCaffrey calf injury scares me. So that's why I'm going to go with the under, because he is the fuel that runs it.
By the way, we didn't do our division winner last conference. I am going to go with, obviously, Green Bay to win the division. Yep. I like Green Bay.
Oh, Green Bay, my bad. Yeah, Green Bay to win it. Got it circled. All right, so let's get to the LA Rams. The Rams are – where are they at on my screen? I got
8.5.
I got 8.5 as well. So Rams 8.5. I'm gonna hit the over on the Rams. I'm drinking what McVay's serving. Yeah.
I'm just curious as to what that defense is going to look like without Aaron Donald. That's what makes me so concerned about them. And then they lost Ra. I mean, I don't think Ra is that huge of a part of the team, but I mean, he is a head coach again now. So it's like they lose their defensive coordinator. They lose their greatest, maybe the best player in Rams history. Matt Stafford got a year older. Cooper Kupp is healthy. Kyron Williams emerged, and Puka Nacua obviously put up the greatest wide receiver numbers for a rookie ever. They're going to be an exciting, fun team to watch. I'm going to actually take the under here, though. I feel like they could be 9-8, even 10-7, possibly again. But I'm going to take the under. And that doesn't bode well for my team because I'm starting Matt Stafford, but I also expect them to throw the ball a lot. So I just see them being one of those teams that's right there. But I'm going to actually take the under here.
Okay. We got Seattle next. The Seahawks, they're sitting at, what do you got, 7.5 or 8.5?
I got 7.5.
Okay. I got 7.5 too. Give me the over. I'm taking.
I like the over here too.
I like Seattle winning 8 or 9 games. Then finally, we got the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals are at 6.5.
Yeah, I got 7.5 here too.
You want 7.5 or 6.5? I got 6.5.
If we can get 6.5, give me 6.5, and I'll take the over.
I got 6.5, and I was going to take the over on that too. And you got San Fran winning the division, right?
Of course.
I'm taking the Rams. Give me Sean McVay.
Oh wow.
Yeah, let's shake it up.
So
now,
Aaron Donald, that doesn't scare you that Aaron Donald's gone.
It scares me, but I believe in
and Coach Rock.
I believe in the Wizard.
All right.
Bringing back Blake Corum. That other running back, that's pretty good. Or bringing in Blake Corum, bringing back the other guy. Puka Nacua coming back year 2. Matthew Stafford got the deal he likes. His wife's embarrassed him this offseason. He's coming back a man possessed. So let's get to our favorite division, the most important division in the NFL, and that's the NFC South. And we're going to start off with our least favorite team in this fucking division. And I'm taking the under without knowing the number on these motherfuckers because I could give a fuck less about them.
Our least favorite team or the worst team in the division?
What's the difference? The Saints.
Oh, we're taking the under. It's 7.5. I think that at most they win 7 games. I do not think that this is a talented team. I think that their defense is aging, and that's kind of been what their calling card has been. Derek Carr is the definition of mediocre at this point. I am so glad we did not put our name in the hat to try and get him a couple of years ago.
Who, Derek Carr?
Yeah, I'm very happy about that. Granted, I think we would have won our division last year if we had him, but
I think Spencer Rattler throws 1,500 yards this year.
Let's see. Let me do the math on that. How many games you think that is? That's about 200. So you think he's going to play about 7-8 games?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a crazy. That's not really a hot take, to be honest with you. I don't think that's a hot take at all.
And I don't think Dennis Allen gets the opportunity to start Spencer Rattler. I think the interim does.
We need to put something like that up too. Who do we think is going to be the first coach to get fired? Because I know his odds have got to be the best in the league.
We both think it's Dennis Allen, so I don't even know what we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Next, Carolina. Carolina, they're sitting down here at the bottom at 5.5. That's scary. You got 5.5.
I got 5.5. That's about where they will be. I think that they will improve.
Can they win 6 games?
Well, they're going to get one with the Saints, and they could steal one against Tampa. I think we sweep them. I'm pulling up the schedule.
Let's see. We got week 1 Saints. Then they got the Chargers. They can beat the Raiders, the Bengals. They got the Bears, us. They got the Commanders. They got Sean Payton's boys. They got the Saints again. They got the Giants. By Kansas City. Oh boy.
Oh.
Tampa, then Philly, then Dallas and Arizona, then Tampa, then us. Yeah, that's an under.
Yeah, go ahead. Put me down for the under. I think that they'll get about 5 though. Maybe
yeah.
4.
Yeah. Fucking hard under.
Yeah.
Next, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're sitting at, I got them at 7.5. What you got at 7.5 right now?
I see 7.5, and I like the over here.
Okay.
I think that they're an 8-win team.
Yeah, I'm gonna ride with you there, pause with the over. I'm okay with that. 8 wins. And if they go to 7, I'm not shocked. It's not one of my locks.
Yeah. Let's get to the main course.
We are all here to do what do.
I'm not playing that other bullshit, especially since Dez got cut. I don't even want his voice associated with our team anymore. I can't do it.
Yeah, we gotta get. Maybe we can get something from what Ross said at Club Shay Shack.
Oh yeah, we didn't
Um,
recap that. Maybe we do that on the back end if we got time. But yeah,
we got the Falcons at 9.5. I think we
pound
both
the
know.
over.
Matter of fact, hey, if you can find a bookie that's got 10.5, go ahead and trump it up and say, I want the over on that. Give me the
Pound
Falcons, pound the over 9.5. I'm going to be honest with you. I really, really do think best case scenario, I could see in a world where the Falcons win 12 games this year. I can see it.
Here's what I want you to do. When you know your ex is going to let you come through that last time, you know it's your last time hitting. But you're going to fuck her so you can maybe get one more time, right?
Yeah.
I want you to pound the Falcons over like you're doing your ex that last time you get to touch that young lady.
I know you were about to drop the T word. I could literally. You didn't even have to fix your lips, and I just knew that that's exactly what you were gonna say. Yeah, I mean, but I'm with you though. You fuck her just like you've never fucked anyone ever before in your life. That's exactly how I want you to do this Falcons number, because the only thing stopping the Falcons from hitting that number is if Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix both get hurt.
Yeah, then we're calling up Redmond, Chris Redmond.
Nah, hell, I would imagine if they were smart, Tannehill, if he's still up, that's who I would go after. But like,
or maybe they bring Dez back into the fold.
no, like I said, Desmond Ritter. Let me tell you, if he has a house here, that is the only time you'll ever see that man in the Atlanta area ever again. There will be no other reason to see him here.
No, we're gonna see Desmond Ritter shotgunning PBRs at the Battery.
I'm gonna be honest with you. You got a better chance of the Falcons calling Matt Ryan to come back to quarterback the team than Desmond Ritter coming back.
So obviously we have the Falcons taking the division.
Yep.
Let's move over to the AFC and start with Miami.
Okay.
Miami, I got them at 9.5. What you think? Yeah, you're seeing 9.5 too.
I like the over. I think that the offense is just too explosive, and I think last year they actually left a lot of money on the table because I think they went 10-7. And realistically, they were really about a 12-win team last year. So I definitely like the 9.5 here over.
Same here. We're going with the over. We're
Right,
definitely going over here. I mean, the offense is spicy. Let's go with the obvious one. Let's go with New England Patriots.
Right.
New England Patriots. I got them at 4.5.
Where is it? Let me hold on. I gotta go down to the bottom. Give me the under.
Can I just not bet this? But I'm gonna put in an under.
Give me the under. I'm gonna be honest with you. I only see 2 games.
I see them sucking.
Go look at their schedule and tell me where their first win comes. Seriously, look at it.
Like,
Tell me where their first win comes.
I see Corinne Steffens on that roster.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of dick sucking going on. Tell me, but seriously, go through it and just tell me, where do you see the first win?
Cincy lost, Seattle lost, Jets lost, 49ers lost, Dolphins lost, Texans lost, Jacksonville lost.
It's in London.
In London?
Even more reason they're going to lose.
Oh, yeah, that's home stadium. Jets lost. Titans, maybe.
That's where the first potential comes in. And I don't even like them there because it's on the road.
Bears, at the Bears lost. Rams lost. At Dolphins, and oh, golly, in fucking December, that's definitely a loss. Colts, maybe. Probably a loss. Week 14 bye. That's terrible. At Cardinals, that's probably a loss because it's hot. They're going to have this fucking stadium open.
Yeah.
At Buffalo, loss. I can't predict a win on their schedule.
All right. So then the under is the play. Under 4.5.
Yeah. And it may change once the season starts and we see them play. But looking at their schedule preseason, fuck no. Let's see what else we got. We've got who do you want to do first? The Jets or the Bills?
Let's go Bills.
All right, the Bills. I got the Bills sitting at 10.5. I
see 9.5 on my end, but we can go with the 10.5.
Oh, no, let's go with the 10.5. Let's go to 9.5. I like that number a lot better. I'm gonna go over 9.5. I got him at 10.
If you had the 10.5, I was gonna take the under.
Yeah,
I don't see any more than 10 wins. So This is so hard. I'm gonna take the under, and here's why. I'm somebody that I like Josh Allen a lot. I always have, but with the Jets coming into that division, and the thought of Aaron Rodgers being 100% healthy, I just think that it's really, really hard to not see. Maybe you do in the case. I just think because of how stacked the AFC North is, it's even harder to see all these teams having these winning records.
Yeah.
So somebody's got to fall off, and I think that the Bills are the team that lost all their momentum. I think that that loss to Kansas City, finally getting them where you wanted them, you got them on the road. They had to come to you, and you fell flat on your face, and then you lost Diggs. Not that he was really a factor, anyways. The second half of the season last year, you lose Diggs. You're really relying on Josh Allen a lot, and James Cook, of course, to tote the rock. Matt Milano is out to start the year, and I think his injury is going to keep him out at least half the year. So he's the leader of that defense at this point. It's an aging defense. McDermott's on the hot seat. I like the under here. I think that they'll win about 9 games.
Okay,
games.
yeah.
But I'm going to take the under. I think that's going to be my upset special because I actually don't have them as a playoff team this year. So
okay, and what do you? I have the Jets at 10.5. What do you have?
9.5.
Let's take 9.5, and I'm going to pound the over on that.
I like the over too.
I'm pounding the Jets.
I think that team is much more talented than Buffalo, and I think that Aaron Rodgers knows that time is running out for him, and I think that he values that second Super Bowl the same way that a Peyton Manning did. Certainly, obviously, I guess John Elway did it too at the end of his career. But
in the same way that Brett Favre tried to value it, even though he didn't get it.
Right, but he came damn near close, and if they weren't headhunting, I think that he would have had a Super Bowl ring.
Absolutely,
Minnesota.
So we got the Jets winning the division.
I like Miami to win the division.
Oh, really?
I think they're the best team. I think that the Jets are going to be really good, but I like Miami. I think Miami's the class of the division.
I won't be shocked, but Miami, I don't like them once it gets cold. All right, so let's go to maybe the toughest division in the league, the AFC North. And let's start with the talk of the town. I got the Ravens at 10.5. What you got?
I see 10.5. Oh, boy. I'm going to take the under. I like them to win 10 games exactly.
I'm going to take the over because Lamar Jackson wins 75% of his starts. So I'm just going to ride that momentum pause and watch them win 11 or 12 games. I know they lost pieces on the offensive line. They lost their DC. I'm not terribly worried about that because Wink was a good DC and they lost him. I believe in what the Harbaughs do as coaches. I believe in Lamar Jackson in the regular season. I believe that Derrick Henry had some juice left in the tank. Zay Flowers showed us that he can get open. He just shouldn't try to stretch the ball across the pylon like a dumbass in the AFC Championship. Rashad Bateman has a little bit of juice. I like the kid from Atlanta, from Notre Dame, who plays safety. I understand they lost Patrick Queen, and I heard somebody say they lost their best linebacker. In nobody's world or life is Patrick Queen better than Roquan Smith. And in Baltimore, players have said it, and they don't have the legacy of the Patriots. But if you look at consistency, probably the best run franchise in the NFL in our football watching life.
And I agree with you 100%. But I mix in the idea that Lamar had a completely healthy year last year. And I'm not saying or wishing that he gets injured this year or anything like that, but I think that you almost have to account for the idea of maybe him missing a game or two. I know that he dropped some weight this year. I do like the addition of Derrick Henry, of course. I just feel more comfortable saying that they're going to be a 10-win team than I do more than 10 wins. So that's kind of my reasoning behind the under. I like the under. I still think that they're going to be a playoff team, but I like the under.
Okay, let's get to an interesting team we got here. The Pittsburgh Steelers. I got them at 8.5. What do you have?
I see. Where is they? Yeah, I have 8.5 as well. And guess what? I see dead people. Give me the under. I think Tomlin gets his first losing season as a head coach, and not necessarily at his fault either. I just think that this team in that division they're the bottom feeder at this point, and they're going to be another team that's going to be in almost every game for the most part that they play. But I think that we saw just from the brief flashes of preseason, scoring the ball is going to be a problem, and I don't know how much longer that defense is going to be able to continue to hold that up. So I like under 8.5.
Yeah, so I'm taking the under because of my brain. But if they squeak out 9 games somehow, some way,
wouldn't surprise you.
It's not going to surprise me.
Because they do it every year. They do it every year.
This is a prediction that I would say do not take this to your bookie because Tomlin has some juju.
Yeah.
No Turner. Cincinnati. I got Cincinnati at 10.5.
That's what I showed too. I actually like the over here. They are the team that I think is the best in the division, and I think that a lot of that has to do with Joe Burrow.
Big balls.
Yeah, man, big balls. And in a weird way, Joe Mixon, getting rid of him to me was almost a plus for them.
Tell me why. Because they're going to pass him?
Well, I think that the idea of having Joe Mixon, to me, you could see the decline was coming.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I like the idea. Obviously, I have them on my fantasy team. I like the idea of Zach Moss and Brown kind of rotating on the carries. I hope that one of them kind of establishes themselves as being the guy. But I think that it just makes them a little bit more lethal in the running game. I don't think that anyone really was sweating their running game last year. And, of course, they have a good enough defense to kind of continue to compete. That's why they won so many games that they did with what's-his-face at quarterback when Joe went down. I think with Joe back, because they went 9-8 last year, and Joe pretty much missed a lot, almost half the season.
Yep.
I think with Joe in there, they can up that. That's 2 more wins, So I like them to get over that hump, and I like them to win that division.
All right. 10.5. I'm going to take them on the under, actually. I like them at 10 wins. I think that the loss of Joe Mixon matters. I think the division's really good. I think that Jamar Chase not being in training camp, and we don't know when the fuck he's coming back, I think that matters. I think that T. Higgins in a contract year matters to a certain degree because I think schematically they're gonna play away from him to try to get him at a discount, and it's gonna hurt the team overall. But can I have a second to talk about Jamar Chase?
Go for it.
Hey, bro, who the fuck do you think you ought to think that you can hold out to get paid 2 years early? Like, I get it. You're great. You're amazing. They're gonna pay you. Cincinnati gets called cheap because they're cheap on a lot of things, but they pay their good players. Carson Palmer, when he was good, he got paid. Ocho Cinco, when he was good, he got paid. Joe Burrow, you just saw it. He got fucking paid. Dog, you're gonna get paid. They're trying to figure out T. Higgins, the guy the second round pick that they have, who was drafted the year before you. They got to figure him out. So they don't want to tie up all the money, but you're going to get paid. And I just don't understand why you are holding out when you have 2 more years of a rookie contract and you have the franchise tag. You have no leverage. Hey. I'm all about players trying to get paid and get paid as soon as possible. But CeeDee Lamb will show you, even though he didn't get the Justin Jefferson contract, even though he kind of did because Justin Jefferson's contract is 35 a year, but it's closer to 32 because of the 5th year or whatever. Don't want to get into the specifics. But dog, if you wait, you get paid more. Dak Prescott waited. He got paid more. The closer you get to free agency, if you produce, you get paid more. And I understand you care about your injuries and stuff like that, but dog, you're a receiver. You're not a running back.
Yeah, and I like the over. And here's another nugget for why I like the over real quick before we move on to Cleveland. They're playing a last place schedule. Let's put that into consideration too. They came in last place in that division last year. And they do have Joe Burrow back. So I don't know. They won 9 games without him, basically, half the year. And they have a last place schedule. So I like Cincinnati to get over that number.
Hey, dog, me going to 10 wins could very well be wrong. It's not a lock. Lastly, we got Cleveland. I got him at 8.5.
That is such a spot on number because everything comes down to Deshaun Watson, man. Can he just return somewhat to form? If he does, they blow past it.
He was 5-1 last year, by the way.
Yeah, man, but he wasn't the reason they were 5-1. And I don't think that they'll be as lucky this year as they were last year. And so I'm going to go ahead and take the over just because I just think that with Myles Garrett and that defense that they'll get to 9. They'll get to 9. But it's really going to revolve around Deshaun Watson. I mean, we can't say that enough. I think even with Chubb missing, we don't even know when Chubb's going to be healthy. But, like, I think that they're good enough to get to 9 wins.
I got him at going over at 9 wins as well. I wouldn't be shocked if Deshaun Watson looks like Houston Deshaun Watson, they could win that division.
For sure.
Pick it. But I'll tell you what, one thing about Deshaun Watson and his media coverage, don't really like it because people are talking about his off the field affairs and talking about him as a player. Hey, dog, you don't have to like the person.
That was 2 years ago, too. Almost 3.
But the person is not that is not a reflection of them as a player. And also, I'm going to stand on this. I'm not going to say he wasn't doing the things that he did. I'm not going to say he's not a creep because, like, bro, it's just better ways to get puss. But it was a hit piece by the Texans brass once he wanted to leave.
Yeah.
That's all it was. And if you don't see that, you don't see how obvious that was, that all of a sudden these stories come out after he demands a trade and says he's not going to play. Come on, bro. What are we doing?
It all worked out for Houston anyways. I mean, they got exactly what they wanted. So
I mean, yeah, and it worked out for Deshaun too because he got exactly what he wanted, 230 guaranteed.
Well, but the question will be this season, did the Browns get what they want? And that's what we'll get to see.
Do the Browns ever get what they want? Shout out to Jimmy Haslam, Haslam School of Business. Yeah, my guy.
UT.
Yeah.
Rocky Top.
Yes, sir. So you got Cincy winning the division, and I got Baltimore winning the division.
Yeah.
All right, let's get on to the AFC West. Golly. Hey, we got 15 minutes to at least get through all of this because I know you're on that time crunch.
Yeah.
But we can do the other futures next week because the season hasn't started yet. Let's go. We got the Chiefs.
Okay.
11.5. I got 11.5. What you got?
Yeah, I see 11.5.
I got under. What you got?
I hate doing this because every time I bet against him, I mean, he just burns me. He just burns me. That's about where they're going to be, 11 or 12 win team. I think that they do take a step back. Let's do this. I am going to take the over, and here's why. Once we get through the rest of the division, you'll see why. Obviously, even the way that Vegas has this set up for the over/under win totals for the other teams in the division, that's a third of their schedule.
Yep.
They clearly got them winning, 5 out of them 6, maybe even all 6. If they win 5 or 6 games in the division, they're going to go over that number. So just from a pure mathematics standpoint, I'm going to take the over on the Chiefs. And I just don't want to bet against Patrick Mahomes anymore.
What are your thoughts on them bringing Juju in?
I have none. It doesn't move the needle one way or another.
I think he's going to be good there. They got their deep threat back. They've learned how to manage Travis Kelce. I think they're going to be good, but Rashee Rice is going to miss games. And them niggas ain't winning a third Super Bowl in a row. Let's get to the Chargers. Jim Harbaugh's Chargers.
I show 8.5.
I will take that number. I have more 9.5 than 8.5, but I'm okay with that.
Well, and that's exactly why, because that's exactly where I see them penciled in at. I think they're a 9-8 football team, so give me the over on the Chargers. I just think that Jim Harbaugh is a culture shifter, just like you talked about earlier with his brother. He's one of these guys that when he comes into an organization, his presence is felt and teams change. He did it in San Francisco. He took a team that was a 6-5 win team the year before, and they went on and won 12 games that first year. I don't think that they're going to have that much success in year one, but I do like them to get over 8.5. So give me the Chargers on the over.
I like the Chargers on the over too. Let's get to the Las Vegas Raiders, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you without looking. Give me the under. I got
It's 6.5.
Yeah.
They were so feisty at the end of the year, and I think that the biggest issue that they have, obviously, is that Gardner Minshew's the quarterback, but Gardner played relatively well for the Colts, and I think when we've done that side-by-side, player A, player B, and then you hide who they are and you look at the stats, he actually has the same numbers. He's Trevor Lawrence, exactly. So they're going to be a sneaky team. I'm going to take the over. I think that they'll get the 7 wins. I think they're about a 7-10 team.
I want them to hit 7 or 8 wins because I'm rooting for Antonio Pierce.
Yeah.
But I just don't see it. We got Denver.
Under. I don't even have to look at it. It's probably 5.5.
Yep.
Give me the under. I think they're about a 5-win team. Rookie quarterback. And I thought Bo Nix looked good in preseason, but that's not the real game. So
I'm right there with you, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you I will always take the under on a Sean Payton team. There's no Drew Brees there. People want to say that Belichick was made by Brady. Well, what the fuck have we seen from Sean without Drew?
Nothing. Absolutely not. Hell, there were times with Drew where you didn't see anything. Well, they went 7-10 3 years in a row. I mean, so
let me pull up Russell Wilson's stats real quick because Russell Wilson was not cheeks last year. He wasn't great, but he wasn't cheeks.
They just don't have much, bro. It's outside of that. Look at the offense.
Bro, he was 26 touchdowns, 8 picks. He didn't play every game. 3,000 yards, 98 passer rating, and Russell's the problem. Fuck out of here.
I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball. There's just nothing spectacular about this team. So that's why I like the under 5.5.
And I'm rooting for Sean Payton may be the only coach in the NFL that I root against. Like, I just want Sean. I would love for Sean Payton to go 0-17.
Well, you're going to definitely be picking them to beat the Saints when they go to New Orleans.
No, I'm picking Dennis Allen.
Really?
Yeah, I want Sean Payton to have to. They're going to New Orleans?
Yeah, it's a Thursday night game.
Oh, golly. Yeah, I want Sean Payton to get back on that flight miserable knowing that he got his ass beat by Dennis fucking Allen. Like, that makes me happy. Like, I know that gives the Saints a win, and if they're feisty, that could fuck with us in the division. But seeing Sean Payton lose.
They're not going to be feisty.
Exactly. Seeing Sean Payton lose gives me way more wood than seeing the Saints lose. And both of those things excite me very, very much.
One just gives you another inch, huh?
Hey, like the new chick wood?
Yeah.
That's seeing Sean Payton lose.
Look, your hate for Sean Payton really does supersede everything, it seems like. It doesn't supersede it for the Saints. I hope Denver goes in there and knocks their teeth out.
Yeah, no. I dislike Sean Payton at a level of he's above Dabo. He's above like Jokic and Luka, like, all the people y'all say that I hate. No, Sean Payton, he's the one.
Yeah, he's on a different level. Let's get to that AFC South.
Yeah, let's get to the AFC South. Okay, let's start off with Indy.
By the way, this will be the most underrated division in football this year.
I agree. I think it's going to be a 9-8 division, but it's going to be the teams are going to be better than their records because it's going to be the second tier of the SEC.
Yeah,
it's going to be Ole Miss.
Yeah.
So let's go Indy. I got them at 8.5.
Indy's 8.5.
What do you got?
I have 8.5. I'm gonna be honest with you. I like it. I like the over, and that is a hard thing for me to say because Anthony Richardson is still kind of a question mark. But I like the way they built the team so much, and the idea that Houston is just going to run away with the division is not something I believe is going to happen. I think Houston's going to be the best team in the division, and they're going to win. But I think it's going to be so much closer than everybody's giving it credit. I think it is going to be a bunch of 9-8, 10-7 jumbled up. So give me the Colts to get over that number. I think Anthony Richardson shows how deadly his legs are in that offense. And then a healthy year of Jonathan Taylor. You add A.D. Mitchell, and you've got Pittman, who had a great year last year. And the defense is still pretty solid. I like the Colts to get to 9 wins.
All right, yeah, I'm going to take them on the over too because I like 9 wins as well. Let's get to Tennessee. I got them at 6.5.
I love it. Pound the over. They are such an underrated team. They're my surprise team of the year. I think that they're going to shock a lot of people. And it's not because I think Will Levis is that dude, but he will certainly, to me, be more competent than a Des Ridder, like in the role that he's going to be asked to play. I like them to definitely get to 7 wins. I think that they might even get to 8 or 9. So give me the over, and it's plus odds. Pound the over on the Titans. They're not the worst team in the division.
I think they have weapons. They got a good defensive front. So
yeah,
I'm gonna reluctantly take the over, but it's a 7-win over.
Yeah. Now here's our under team.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hammer the under, baby. They got 8.5. Yep, yeah. Hammer the under. They don't win any more than 8 games. So,
hey, let me apologize to the city that I'm sitting in right now.
No, you don't have to apologize for anything, Lee. You're keeping it real. At the end of the day, he lost Calvin Ridley. They had some nice pieces. It fell apart at the end. I know he got hurt in that Monday night game, but I don't know. I don't really see it. I just feel like they're a very middle of the pack type team, and middle of the pack means that you don't have a winning record. So I like the under.
Deshaun Watson is on a better contract than Trevor Lawrence. Okay.
And they just paid Trevor, right? So
yeah, let's get to the winner of the division because we at least got to get the college picks in.
Yeah.
Oh, we got Houston.
9.5.
9.5. Give me the over.
Yeah, give me the over. I think that they're going to win 10 games.
And I went ahead and penciled us in for the Chiefs winning the West. I think that goes without saying.
Yeah, there's nothing to talk about there unless Patrick Mahomes, breaks his fucking neck against Baltimore.
Right, then we're fucked. But you're not a bad better for that one. Hey, exactly. So hey guys, those are NFL over unders. Gonna compile those together, may post them somewhere so you can go back and see them. Thank you for tuning into that. We are on a time crunch. So we're gonna get to a 6-pack in a second. But hey, man, Georgia Tech fucking went over to Dublin, Ireland, and fucking dubbed Florida State. 12-0 Florida State. The guys who don't want to come to Georgia. I'm gonna fuck what you say, and I'm gonna play in GA. You know what I mean? Like, hey, Mike Norvell, DJ, you ain't it.
No, he really isn't. And I think that what makes it so crazy is that DJU, I kind of actually had expectations for them. I put it this way. I thought they were going to win the game, but I'm not even that surprised that they lost. And the reason I say that is because of what we saw. That was the DJU from Clemson that I remember.
Yeah, that's the DJU.
That wasn't the DJU that played at Oregon State last year that had them cooking and they were ranked and were in a lot of games, even against the good teams in the Pac-12. I'm not surprised. Brent Key's got something cooking at Tech too, is what it is. He's got something cooking, and that is something that because you can sell Atlanta. You can sell Atlanta. Now, look, the education standard is going to weed a lot of niggas out.
Yeah, you only get about 2 or 3 majors you can take on, too. Georgia Tech does not have many bullshit majors.
Yeah. You think they got general studies?
I think they have general studies, and they have a few social science majors, but, I applied to Tech, and, I went through their majors. There's about, 3 or 4 majors if you're not math, science, engineer type nigga.
No kinesiology, huh?
No.
I don't think so.
You know what time it is. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Parlay Pete College Football 6-pack.
Well, it feels good to be back. It's been a long time coming. Gosh, our last 6-pack would have been the Super Bowl, so that would have been February.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even a true 6-pack. That was kind of a in-game, multiple props and shit like that. So we finally
pack since the divisional round, honestly.
Well, exactly. And we might have even pushed it into the conference round. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get that final amount in. And we'll go ahead and we'll get it started off with the James Madison at Charlotte. That's going to be kind of one of the lower hanging fruit that you got there. I like James Madison on the money line. Not too much to talk about. They were kind of the best team in that division. Hold on one second. Hey, how you guys doing?
We also here.
Oh yeah, no, you're good. I'm about to. Yeah. I'm, okay.
Yeah, they're about to boot him up out of there because he's in a common space. Gotta get this guy linked up in the stew. Oh, hopefully they don't boot him. Like we got 3 minutes. Come on, man. Let's get like 3 more minutes. Don't kick my man's out. We trying to have a pod party. Yeah, he doesn't want to hear me in his ear right now. Yeah, they're gonna tell him to hit the fucking bricks.
Okay. All right. Hold on. So what we were at James Madison at Charlotte, right?
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, we're gonna go James Madison on the money line. I think it's just relatively easy to. It's kind of low hanging fruit there, just because James Madison, they're the best team in that conference last year. So
Yep.
That's like going to be like a super duper easy one to do. Then next we got Fresno State at Michigan. I'm a big fan of what they got going, even with Harbaugh gone. I think it's just a relatively easy one to take here too. Fresno State, not too many, players like that. So let's go ahead and go with Michigan minus 20.5 at home.
Okay, what else we got?
Then we got Boston College at Florida State. See, I see them actually bouncing back. I don't see that shit playing out the same exact way, especially then they get that lone game on that Monday night. Give me Florida State minus 16.5.
Okay.
All right, then we got Miami at Florida. This was going to be like my upset of the week. Go ahead, pencil in Florida at the money line.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm not touching that one.
Well, here's the thing. I didn't want to not. So I wanted to throw some of the good stuff in there. I already got kind of the lower hanging fruit out of the way. Then you got Notre Dame at Texas A&M. Interesting game to me. I like the over. Take the over 46.5 there.
Okay.
And then finally, of course, you got Georgia and Clemson. I think it's going to be a fucking beatdown personally. But you're not going to be in town for that, right?
No, I'll be in Albany watching the game.
Okay. Well, I'll be in the blue lot. But give me Georgia minus 13.5.
Are they playing here?
Yeah, it's at the Benz. Yeah.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yeah.
All right, so we got James Madison on the money line, Michigan minus 20.5, Florida State minus 16.5, UF on the money line, Notre Dame at Texas A&M over 46.5, and UGA minus 13.5.
That sounds good to me.
You like it? If you like it, then I love it. You know what it is. If you like it, then I love it. How the fuck do we do that shit? Oh, we're rusty.
Right. We'll get back.
You know what it's time for? Leads three. All right, man. So we're going to go ahead and get something easy right here. We're going to take James Madison on that money line. You're fucking right. Then we're going to go down to Tallahassee, and I like Florida State minus 16.5. And we're taking them dogs minus 13.5. Let's get it. Dabo 0-1. Son, you're done. Let's go, Kirby. So that's our show for the week. Nice little hour and a half, little NFL talk and some college bets. We didn't get to everything we wanted to get to, but what we'll do is we'll get back to you all next week with another NFL preview with some of our other bets, and then we'll actually talk about the games that we care about going into week one, and we'll recap college football week one. Thanks, Parlay Pete. It was fun.
I appreciate you, AC Lee.
All right, dog. I'll holler at you.
Okay. All right, brother. Take care.
All right, out of here.